All right. Well, welcome everybody. Thank you so much for being here. My name is Bill Shorey. I am the president of the board of Imagination Library. I will tell you that our kids earlier when we were setting up today did not know who I was. So when they were walking out, they saw a person standing there with a sport coat on, and every one of them walked by and said, "Hi, Mayor." So kids, I appreciate the compliment very much, but I'm not the mayor, he's the mayor. So now that we have that clear, thanks everybody for being here. I want to start by thanking Steve Tarver and everyone here at the YMCA for hosting us today and for all of the support over the years for both Imagination Library and everything else that you do in the community. This is a day we have been working on for a very long time. So I want to start by thanking some of the folks who have come here to share it with us. First of all, of course, Mayor Craig Greenberg and First Lady Rachel Greenberg. Looking around the room, all of our board members, especially Chris McGarvey, who is here not only in her capacity on the board, but on behalf of her husband, who's also my friend, and our Congressman, Morgan McGarvey. I also want to say welcome to Lauren Kirchgessner, who does incredible work with the Addie and Baylor Foundation, and they have been extremely supportive of the Imagination Library as well. We have a lot of other people to thank in the room, and we're spreading those out among our speakers. You're going to hear a lot more names today, but there's one name that I want to focus on. Isabella Shorey, my daughter. When I became a dad, I somehow remembered this dedication that C.S. Lewis wrote at the beginning of the Narnia books. He said he intended the book for his goddaughter, Lucy. But he found that little girls grow faster than books, and by the time it was finished, she was too old for fairy tales. But the books lived on for all of us. I have a story a little bit like that myself. Isabella had just turned 4 years old when our family moved here from Knoxville so I could become news director at WAVE. Now, East Tennessee is Dolly country, so we signed up Isabella for the Imagination Library the day she was born. She loved getting the books. We loved reading them to her. And by the time we moved here, she was running to the mailbox, looking for them herself and reading them herself. Every month, she got a free age-appropriate book in the mail with her name on it. So when we moved here, we thought, what better way to make her feel at home in Louisville than to have the books arrive here at her home? But we found out something unfortunate, that the Imagination Library was not here. Now, the folks in Knoxville were kind enough to finish her up through the program and send her the books, but what about all the other kids? We wanted to do something about that, and my wife, Michelle, who is here today, was the first one to realize that our TV station was in the perfect position to do something about that. Ken Selvaggi, Shannon Cogan, Laurel Mallory were the first ones to buy in and be part of the effort, and all three of them are still on our board today, and we appreciate everything you've done to get us here. So together, we set out to bring the Imagination Library to Louisville, and in secret, I had a goal in my head of we were going to get this thing launched in time for us to send Isabella her last book when she turned 5. It turns out that little girls grow faster than book programs do. We found out quickly there are nearly 50,000 eligible kids in all of Metro Louisville. To send them all books, we were going to have to raise what seemed like an impossible amount of money. But then we found out we weren't alone. We found out the Junior League had the same dream. Leanne Bergshot is here with us today and was part of that very first conversation that we had and helped serve on our board very early. We also found out that Reverend Robin Jennings was working on this project as well, and he had figured out that he could start with a single zip code instead of going for the whole pie. So we launched Imagination Library of Louisville in 2017 with 3 zip codes. By then, Isabella was 8. But pretty soon, we had broad community support. We expanded to 8 zip codes and then 11 and then more. In 2021, then State Senator McGarvey helped us get state support, and you'll hear more about that in a minute. And in 2022, we took what turned out to be our biggest step of all. We hired our first executive director, Maria Gurin, who has quite simply transformed our organization. Maria's expanded awareness and engagement, increased enrollment, created partnerships with everyone from the United Way to Schneider Electric, who's we're glad is here with us today. She immediately found additional funding and grants, and eventually she developed the partnership and the relationships with Mayor Greenberg's office that let us finally reach our goal. And so I am thrilled to announce that as Isabella is just 2 weeks away from starting as a freshman at Manual High School, the book program has finally caught up with the little girl. Thanks to the grant the mayor recently announced from the Office of Early Childhood, we are now officially able to offer Dolly Parton's Imagination Library to every child in Metro Louisville. And that feels really good. I have been waiting to make that announcement for a really long time. So now I'm going to do the thing that I have learned to do a lot of over the last year, and I'm going to let Maria Gurin handle the details.
Thank you, Bill. Thank you for the kind words, and thank you for everything that you have done to bring Imagination Library to Louisville. So let's talk about the details. Imagination Library mails a free, age-appropriate monthly book to children until their 5th birthday to help them develop a love of reading and get ready for kindergarten. Books arrive each month with the child's name on them, which helps them develop excitement about reading and learning and create an attachment to books at an early age. The books are carefully selected by child literacy experts, many connected to the University of Tennessee, to ensure that children receive an array of diverse stories that meet their developmental needs. The books are age-specific, so siblings get different books each month. And 2 books out of every year are dual language in English and Spanish, and 1 book each year is nonfiction. A child signed up at birth will receive 60 books by their 5th birthday. We know that when children practice and enjoy reading, they develop emerging literacy skills, like recognizing letters, increasing their vocabulary, and improving auditory memory. In fact, just 15 minutes a day of reading out loud to your child provides a bonding experience that supports the parent-child relationship in countless ways, and Imagination Library makes it easy by making sure that you and your family have a new book to enjoy every single month. Imagination Library of Louisville began in zip codes where families might have less access to books, and we will continue to prioritize those neighborhoods to make sure that all children have access to books in early childhood. However, we are excited that this funding allows us to offer the experience of Imagination Library to every child in our community, even children who might already have books at home. We encourage any parent with a child under 5 to sign up, and it is our dream that every child in Louisville arrive at kindergarten ready to thrive, having the shared experience of Imagination Library. To register your child under 5, you can go to imaginationlibrarylouisville.org and click sign up. The registration process is quick and easy, and you can expect to get your first book, the welcome book, The Little Engine That Could, in 6 to 8 weeks. As I look around this room, I have to take a moment to thank some of our partners. It would not be possible for us to send thousands of books every single month without our partners in the community who help us register children. Whether that be our hospitals that are registering babies before they even go home, our community centers, our amazing public libraries, Jefferson County Public Schools, our YMCAs like this one we stand in today, Head Start and other child care centers, places of worship, and businesses. It takes a village, and we appreciate each and every one of you. If you are hearing this and you're not partnered with us and would like to, you can email us at info@imaginationlibrarylouisville.org. We would love to work with you. And lastly, today is a celebration of this new funding from the city that allows us to expand countywide. I want to thank the mayor and Metro Council, as well as Mariana Barzin from the Office of Philanthropy and Leanne French from the Office of Early Childhood and all of their work at getting this funding out to the community. I would also like to thank some of our funders who have invested with us from the very beginning. To the Gaines Foundation, the Rotary Club of Louisville, Delta Dental, and the PNC Foundation. Thank you sincerely for believing in our mission and supporting us in getting to where we are today. I also have to thank the Kentucky General Assembly, who has supported the statewide expansion of Imagination Library by covering the cost of half of every book mailed to a Kentucky kid. Lastly, thank you to all of our funders who have joined us along the way to help us get more books into the hands of more Louisville kids. And thanks to everyone joining us today to celebrate this exciting announcement. I am happy to introduce Imagination Library of Louisville board member, Chris McGarvey.
Thank you, Maria. And what an exciting day for Louisville. Guys, do you know what's coming? You get a present in the mail. You're going to get a book in the mail. Isn't that exciting? So really, yes, that's right. As Bill mentioned, I am Chris McGarvey, a proud member of the Imagination Library and wife of Congressman Morgan McGarvey, who couldn't be here today because he's in Washington, D.C. In 2021, Morgan was serving as state senator and partnered with President Robert Stivers to help accelerate the coverage of the Imagination Library across the state of Kentucky. As parents of 3 small children, Morgan and I know the value of books through the rocking years. Some of my favorite memories with my kids before kindergarten were times where we just completely lost track of time, engulfed in stories. It was the bonding experience as well as the adventure that each story provided. As a working 9-to-5 parent, anything that makes my life easier is more than welcomed. The thought of coming home and finding a book in the mail to build a library for my kids is exhilarating. Through the work that Morgan and President Stivers did, as they threaded that needle, allowed us for this moment to take each zip code, each unique piece of fabric, and sew together our very own coat of many colors. And to you, Bill, I will always love you for bringing the Imagination Library to Louisville.
All right, kids, y'all ready for book reading time? That sounds exciting. Do y'all like to read? What's your favorite book? Do you have a favorite book? Halloween? That's a good book and a holiday. That's wonderful.
What about Nibbles, the book monster?
Oh, that sounds like a good one. The book with no pictures or all pictures? No pictures. Oh. Oh, I love Where the Wild Things Are. That gets a little scary, but that's a good one. Christmas has good books also. Really good books. Do you get some books under the tree at Christmas time? Or do you go for all toys? Easter books too? All good. You all like holiday books. That's great. That's great. Well, it is great to see such really enthusiasm for this entire program. We are so thrilled. Bill, to you and the entire Imagination Library team, Maria, and everyone that has worked so hard over many years to make this happen. We are so thrilled to be here. Rachel and I are just so excited about this announcement, to work with Mariana and Leanne and more folks in our administration to help make this a reality. And Chris, as someone who has read with your kids over the years as we've grown up as great family friends together and watched each other's kids grow, I know that you and Morgan are truly doing this from an amazing place, from the heart, so that every other kid has the same opportunities that your and Morgan kids have, that my and Rachel's kids had, because there are far too many kids in our city that don't have the means or the ability to have the access to books. And so there's so much excitement here today in making this a reality with Imagination Library. You know, part of my job as mayor is to understand and respond to the needs of our city that are happening right now in the present, like taking immediate action to improve public safety and reduce gun violence, which is a huge focus of our entire administration. But at the same time, as you've heard about here today, we have to do things to address the long-term challenges of our city, always with an eye to the future. That includes making sure that economic opportunities are available to everyone, especially to young people. People as young as the kids with us here today, in every neighborhood, every zip code, every Metro Council district across our entire city, so that these kids here today and every other kid all have the same opportunity to pursue whatever their hopes and dreams may be. So we need to ensure that kids have those skills to grow and to prosper in the years ahead. There is no one solution for the complex challenges that our city faces, that kids growing up in today's time face. But there is something that we all know we can do that will help us address these and other challenges that will pay off for the kids of Louisville, the people of Louisville, not just today, not just for the coming years ahead, but for generations to come. And so that's why I am so thrilled to be part of today's announcement that makes the Imagination Library program accessible to thousands of more kids across our entire city. We see over and over that early learning experiences, particularly when it comes to reading and literacy, make a huge difference in determining the path that people will follow through school and beyond. It'll influence their entire lives. More robust early learning opportunities can address the tragic and infuriating inequalities that we so often see in our city and around the country along racial and income lines. And research is clear. Research shows us that teaching kids early on to read has positive long-term effects on critical things like high school graduation rates, years of education completed, career earnings, and reduced amount of crime in our city. This will be a game changer for our city. This will redefine what the future of Louisville looks like for generations to come. And yes, this is a big commitment. But it's time for Louisville to make big commitments like this to our children, to our families, to our city's future. Because every kid with us today, every kid across our city deserves it. So I want to thank everyone here and around the city who has worked for many years to make this happen. And I want to thank everyone in my administration who worked to help make this significant grant happen today as well. And we are just getting started. Because last month we formed the Mayor's Early Learning Action Group. They are tasked with creating a plan to make pre-K reality for every 3- and 4-year-old child in all of Louisville. This is just the start of many more big initiatives that we are going to continue to focus on so that our children have every opportunity to succeed. And even though I've only been in office since January, I often get the question, what do you want your legacy as mayor to be? And for me, that's easy. I want my legacy, our administration's legacy, to be that when 20 years from now, when the JCPS graduating high school class is walking across through their graduation and getting their diplomas, that class of graduates is the highest academically performing graduating class in the history of our city, because they got their start with education early through universal pre-K that was made available by our city, through our nonprofit partners, through our private sector partners across our entire city. And I want to celebrate that highest performing academic achievement until the next class graduates, which is even higher, and then the next and the next. This is about investing in our future for the long term so that these kids have every opportunity to pursue their hope and dream, and every other child across our entire city does. That's what creating quality, robust, early learning opportunities can do. That's what giving kids the opportunity and accessibility to read at an early age will do. This is how we become a safer, stronger, and healthier city. So I'm so excited to be with you here today. I know that my wife Rachel is as well, to celebrate this amazing achievement, to start ensuring that every kid in Louisville has the opportunity to be a part of Imagination Library. So thank you all very much, and congratulations.
Thank you so much, Mayor. We really appreciate you being here. And kids, you have been awesome.